Yes, we are going to discuss about a new approach that has been started in the practical examinations of MS, that is OSCE. Okay, so we will be discussing about how OSCE would be and what is OSCE, what are the things you will be in OSCE, and what are the things you will be assessed by the OSCE. You can see here. Okay, are you able to see the screen? Yes. So what is OSCE? OSCE stands for Objective Structured Clinical Examination. So in this you will be assessed how you talk with the patient and what is your mannerism and how you empathize with the patient when you are breaking a bad news, and how you involve with the patient, how you respect the patient decision. All these things will be assessed in OSCE. Okay. So, what are the type of cases you can see in OSCE? There will be two types. That is simulated task and structured discussion. Okay. What is a simulated task? In simulated task, there will be a role play. As this is your first batch of OSCE in MS examinations, we don't know how much extent they will give the OSCE. Okay, how much extent they will give the OSCE, we don't know. That's why I'm telling completely what is OSCE and what exactly OSCE means. So that if they give you less time or more time, if they give you only some short span of marks for OSCE also, you will be prepared. Okay, just learn what exactly is OSCE. Okay, there will be two types of presentations. That is, the first one will be simulated task. Okay, simulated task is role play. Someone will be playing the role of a patient or someone will be playing the role of a doctor also. So in this simulated task, you will be having two things. That is SPT, that is simulated patient task. Okay, SPT is simulated patient task. And the other one is simulated colleague task. Simulated colleague task. I am telling you this in detail because this is the first time they have introduced OSCE in this. This is now present in DNB and in MRCOG also. The final part of is of OSCE. So I am well experienced with OSCE. That's why I just want to share with you what OSCE means and how you can get through it. Okay. So coming to this one, role play. One will be playing the role like as a patient or as a colleague. Okay. In simulated patient task, you will be assessed regarding a case scenario. The patient might come for you for antenatal counseling. The patient might come for you with some other things like they can just see if they are if they want to conceive or not, if they want to conceive or not, like that they can see. Okay, just a second. Okay, so this is about the simulated patient task, and in this you will talk to the patient and you will answer her questions and you will explain what it is given. Okay, I will show you the examples also, don't worry. Each one I will show you the example, what is simulated patient task, what is SD, everything I'll show you. Okay, so this is a simulated patient task. You will talk to the patient, you will answer her queries, you will explain what else they have given in the task. In this you can have a bad news, that is breaking bad news, or you can have one antenatal discussion, or you can have one maternal medicine discussion, or you can have a labor and delivery discussion, or you can have some instrumental delivery discussion also. So this is about the breaking bad news. Okay, breaking bad news, antenatal, maternal medicine also they can ask. Like a patient coming with cardiac disease in pregnancy. Okay, she will be having a heart disease and she will be telling, yes, I am having a heart disease. What are my risks? when I continue this pregnancy? The patient herself will ask. Okay, this is about the simulated patient task. Then the second will be simulated colleague task. In simulated colleague task, what happens? Your junior will be there or your senior will be there. You have to discuss the case, or you have to talk to the junior. You have to explain what the things. Okay, the first thing would be about forceps delivery. Like they give you are the third year postgraduate. I have given the examples of ST5 or ST6, don't mind it. They can give you are the senior year or the final year postgraduate. Your first year postgraduate has come to you and told that they have seen a forceps delivery yesterday night duty, and they just want to know what is forceps and what is forceps delivery. Then you have to discuss as you are discussing it with a junior. Okay, like you are discussing it with a junior with utmost care. You don't have to bully him or her. You just need to tell them softly, yes, and you need to explain all the things, like what are the indications of forceps, what are the contraindications, what are the complications, everything you will discuss as if it is a junior. Okay, about forceps delivery or about ventouse delivery or about PPIUCD insertion. Okay, PPICD insertion could be simulated colleague task or it could be a simulated patient task also. Okay, you can have anything. And the fourth one will be pessary insertion. They can ask how to insert a pessary. Everything like similar to these they can ask. And about shoulder dystocia also they can ask. I have seen a case of shoulder dystocia. Can you tell me what we can do in this shoulder dystocia? Like that they will be asking. Okay, so this is about the simulated task. Okay, this is about the simulated task. In simulated task, you will be having a simulated patient task and simulated colleague task. Fine. Next, coming to structured discussion. What is a structured discussion? This is a formal discussion. This is a formal discussion where simply it would be something like a viva. The examiner will be asking you straightforward questions. They will be giving you a scenario and the examiner will be asking you the straightforward questions regarding if it is about a patient of 28 years old. She is coming with a hypertension. Okay, she is coming with a gestational hypertension of 160/90. They will be giving all the scenario and they will ask you what will be your further management or how will you proceed with the case. What are the investigations you want to do? And if the patient is reluctant for admission, then what you will do? Or if the patient has thrown eclampsia, then what you will do? Like that, they will be going into the scenario. That is a structured discussion. This is a formal discussion where like it will be like a viva. Okay. So these are the two things where these are the two types of cases in the OSCE. We don't know at what extent they will give. They might give a 2 to 3 minute discussion only, or they might give 5-minute discussion, or they might give 6-minute discussion also in cases of some breaking bad news, because it will be some long to discuss about the pros and cons. Okay, these are about the type of cases. Coming to the marking system. So how you will be marked? The marking system, the first one for introduction or history. So how you have taken, how you have started the discussion with the patient, or how you have said hello, hi, I am Dr. Maimuna, one of the treating doctors today. How may I help you? So you have started the discussion very smoothly or not. These things they will be seeing in the introduction. Introduction is just easy marking. Okay, you will carry easy marks by having a nice hello. Okay, then coming to the communication with the patient. So how you have communication, how you have communicated with the patient? Are you seeing her with empathy or not? Or are you trying to feel good or not? Like that you can assess for the communication with the patient. Okay, so whenever you are explaining anything, you can just wait for a second and you can say, am I clear? That means you are involving the patient. You are involving the patient and you are letting her open up if she is having any doubts. Are you okay till so far? Like that you can ask, am I clear? Or are you with me? You can ask such questions so that your communication with the patient will be simpler. And avoid jargons. Jargon means medical terms. Avoid jargons. You cannot use, yes, your uterus is containing a fibroid and you need a hysterectomy. That will be a total abdominal hysterectomy. You cannot say that. You cannot say that. Just you need to say your tummy has grown or your womb has grown. So some jargons which we cannot use is uterus. For uterus, you can use womb. Okay. For vulva or vagina, you can use down below. If you are you having any itching down below, or are you having any white discharge down below, any pain down below, like that you can tell it. Okay. Uterus is womb, abdomen is tummy. Okay. Such things we need to change it whenever you are communicating with the patient. Okay. So avoid jargons and you have to give the what is the knowledge, or you have to give the matter in chunks. So whenever you are explaining to the patient like about Down syndrome, so whenever you are discussing with Down syndrome, you cannot tell to the patient, see, your baby is having Down syndrome. Down syndrome is like a trisomy 21 and he is be having similar features of cleft lip, cleft palate would be there, and craniofacial abnormalities would be there. So you cannot say continuously everything, and by the end the patient is concentrating on some other thing of her task. Okay, you cannot do that. So you have to stop. Down syndrome is one form of defect where the genetic makeup of the baby will be abnormal, and this occurs very rarely. Like that you have to stop. Am I clear so far? Like that you need to check the understanding of the patient. Check the understanding of the patient and give the matter in chunks. That is communication with patient. Next comes the communication with colleagues. So how do you communicate with the colleagues? With the colleagues, you can do you can say, yes, I can talk to my superior, or I will discuss with my consultant about your case and I will get back to you. I will talk to my consultant. So you can use the word consultant or you can use the word superior. This is a very easy domain where you can pass easily this domain. Okay, this domain contains 2 marks or something. Whenever you utter the word consultant or superior, or let's say if there is a patient of asthma, then you can say, I will refer you to the pulmonologist or the lung doctor where they can review the medicine. If she is a cardiac complicating pregnancy, I will refer you to the cardiologist also. Okay, such things if you add, that communication with colleagues domain will be passed. Then coming to the fourth one, that is applied clinical knowledge. So how much amount of knowledge you have applied clearly while doing this station. So in OSCE, stations will be there. Stations means number of cases, or one block where you will be given a task. In station, you will be given a task. Okay, so in applied clinical knowledge, in this station, what you have done. So if it is a Down syndrome, you are telling, yes, this is craniofacial abnormalities are there, or the baby might have an abnormal skull or eyes, or the tongue might be protruded. So all these things comes under knowledge. Okay. In this domain, you will be tested under knowledge. So more amount of knowledge is not necessary for the patient. Only you can just add on some important things that you should not miss. The last but not the unimportant domain, that is the most important domain, that is patient safety. Patient safety is the most important domain, because if you ignore this, how much if you have performed very nicely in all the 4 stations or in all the 4 domains also, if your patient safety domain is not good, then your marks will be less, or you might not get through the exam also. What comes under patient safety? if the patient is asthmatic and if she is using some form of teratogenic, then you need to ask her to stop. You need to review with your senior consultant and you need to ask her to stop. If she is an epileptic and if she is using sodium valproate, then you will say it is not good for you or your baby. Both you will say. Then about patient safety, you will check the name on the report. From there, you have to tell, okay, she has come with the chorionic villus sampling report. Then you can say, I have checked and confirmed your name. I have checked and confirmed your name on the report. Okay, name and the IP number or OP number on the report. So that itself starts with the patient safety. Okay, and what are the other important points of the patient safety also you need to remember, and you need to say if she is an epileptic, what are the other patient safety points? The other patient safety points, you will say avoid being alone. You will say yes, don't go alone anywhere, and you will say avoid bath. Only shower you can do. Don't bath or don't stand while bathing. So these are the things which are patient safety points. It is safe for the patient. So that domain is very important and don't miss this domain. Okay, this is the marking system. The first is the history or introduction scenario, and then comes the communication or history taking. Then second comes the communication with the patient. Third is communication with colleagues. Fourth is applied clinical knowledge, and fifth is the patient safety. Okay, these are the things from which the marking system will be there. So now coming to some of the examples. See, this is a simulated colleague task. Okay, this is a simulated colleague task. Simulated colleague task. So what they have given. In this, they are testing applied clinical knowledge, communication with colleagues, and patient safety. Okay, so in each and every case, they won't test all the 5 domains. They will be telling what are the domains they will be testing. Okay, so you are the senior postgraduate on call, and you have just delivered a baby using a Kiwi ventouse, and have been asked to teach the technique to a junior trainee with no prior experience of the procedure. Okay, you are a senior postgraduate, you are going to teach a Kiwi ventouse delivery to your junior trainee. Okay, this is a simulated colleague task. You will be having 10 minutes to demonstrate the technique of a Kiwi. Okay, see, in OSCE, there will be 2 instructions. The first is the candidate instruction, the second is the simulated colleagues instructions. This will not be shown to you. This will be shown to the role player who is playing the role of a colleague or a patient. They will have also another task, like they will be asked about, yes, ask these questions to the candidate, ask these questions when he comes in, or ask these questions like, if I didn't understand it, can you please repeat it? Like that, such questions will be there, such task will be there to the role player also. Okay, so this part will be shown to you, and you will be having this at your desk. You will be reading it and you will be discussing with your colleague. Okay, so yes, see, this is the colleagues instructions. I mean, the junior is there, no, he will be receiving this card. See, you could ask the following questions if not already covered by the candidate. If you have not covered, then he will be asking you, can you tell me more about ventouse? What are the parts of Kiwi? How is it applied? When do one need ventouse? Or it means indications. Indications of ventouse they will be asking, and complications also they will be asking. Okay. So prior to asking only, if you cover it, then it will be good. And you have to give some time, like in chunks I told, no? You have to give information in chunks, and you can ask, is he following or not? Repeat it, like that you can ask. So this is a simulated colleague task. Now coming to the second example, this is a simulated patient task. Sorry. Coming to the second example, this is a simulated patient task, assessing the following domains. So here you are assessed with communication with patients, information gathering or history, patient safety, and applied clinical knowledge. So you are the senior postgraduate, 40-year-old patient who is booked in for antenatal care has requested to see you urgently, having just had an anomaly scan at 21 weeks, which revealed a left-sided cleft lip and palate. Okay, so the baby is having cleft lip and palate. She is shocked and distraught. It means this station is a breaking bad news station. But this is not so bad because cleft lip or cleft palate is not that much dangerous to the baby. You can just say, yes, I have a bad news, or I am not having a good news to say. I'm so sorry that I am the bearer of this news. Okay, and you can then start with, yes, your baby, your scan, the baby growth is well, but the baby is having a cleft, or the baby is having a gap in between the lips. Like that, you can say. You should not use any jargon when you are discussing with the patient. Okay, so these are the candidates instructions, and this is a simulated patient task. See, now comes the structured discussion. This is a structured discussion. So in the structured discussion, you are discussing about the applied clinical knowledge, communication with colleagues, and patient safety. So what is done? You are the ST5 registrar, or you are the senior postgraduate on call for the labor ward, and have been asked to review the CTG of a woman in labor. Okay, they will be giving one CTG. They will be giving one CTG, and they will be asking some questions. Okay, you have 10 minutes to have structured discussion with the examiner, who has 3 questions they can use to discuss the subsequent management of this patient with you. Okay, they will be discussing, and they will start with you, like, they will show you a CTG. Have you read the CTG? Yes, this patient is having full dilatation with meconium stained liquor. Now the CTG is like this. So in this, you will be having fetal heart rate less than 60. Then what you will do? The patient is on full dilatation with meconium stained liquor, and the fetal heart rate is 60. Then immediately you will be expediting the delivery with forceps. Expediting the delivery with forceps or ventouse immediately, because there is a fetal distress and already full dilatation with +2 station. Okay, like that they might ask, or they might ask you to describe the CTG, and they might ask you what are the amber of CTG, what are the red color of CTG. So everything they might ask. That is about the structured discussion. So here, these are the examples that I have told you: simulated colleague task, simulated patient task, and structured discussion, right? So these are the examples. Yes, what are the tips for OSCE or any practical? What are the tips? The first is, read the question carefully, whether it is a simulated colleague task, whether it is a simulated patient task, or what they are asking. They are asking you to describe how PPIUCD is inserted, or they are asking you to have a consent for PPIUCD. Such things we have to keep in mind. First, read the question correctly. Then, the body language is important. Whenever you are breaking a bad news, you need to be little softer. You need to be speaking slow, but with confidence. And you need to bend a little forward, showing some sympathy or empathy to the patient. Okay, and you need to be slow. Okay, you can say, it's very unfortunate that this happened. I'm so sorry that I am the bearer of this news. Like that, you need to be some softer. Okay. Next, listen to the actor's questions. That is very, very, very important, because that itself will give you marks, because the actor or the role play will have some task, as I have shown you in the immediate one, this one. See, these are the instructions for the actor. Okay, like that, for patient also they will be having some questions, and they will be asking, yes, yes doctor, is it fine if I carry this baby till the end? Or how much chance will be there to have this as an SGA baby, doctor? Or they will be asking, like, what might the chance of having it happen again? That means they are asking for recurrence, or what complications that might baby can face. Like that, they will be asking. So you have to definitely listen to the actors' questions, and you have to give them space to talk. Okay, if there are props, use them. So if you are finding a forceps in front of you, or if you are finding a kiwi in front of you, or if you are finding anything, don't just explain. Take it, use it with your hand, and just explain it. If you don't know anything about it also, just hold it with your hand and just tell the important parts, or something like that you can tell. If there are props, just use them. Okay. Next, drawings. Whenever you explain anything to the patient, you can draw. or explain anything to the colleague also, you can draw and explain wherever it is necessary. Whenever you are telling about a molar pregnancy, or if you are telling about an ectopic pregnancy, then you can just draw, see, here this is the womb and these are the tubes. The egg will be released and the egg will be here, and the baby, if the baby is formed in the tube and if it is attached in the tube, that might result in the ectopic pregnancy and the tube may burst. Like that, you can just help with your drawing, so that the examiner also will be observing you, and he will be so happy that you have drawn and you have know the concept. Okay, next, don't point to yourself. It means if you want to describe something, like if you want to describe, do you have tummy pain or where do you have tummy pain, don't point at your abdomen. Okay, don't point at your abdomen, don't point at your site. Is the pain here, is the pain here, don't tell like that. Just describe verbally. Do you have any tummy pain? Where is it left or is it right? Is it associated with some other symptom? Like that you can ask. Don't point on yourself. Okay. Next, strictly no jargons in cases of simulated patient task. For colleague task you can use, because colleague is also a doctor, no? You can use. And for structured discussion also you can use, because the examiner is also a doctor and you both formal talking is being done. No jargons whenever you are talking to a patient. Okay, no jargons whenever you are talking to a patient. So that's all for today. So I think I have given enough of description of OSCE, where I can do my best in this 1 week. I have just known about the OSCE, and as I have completed my MRCOG, I have a very good knowledge of OSCE also, and I have an experience of OSCE, where we will be giving 14 stations for OSCE, completing all these things. Okay, so I can help you and guide you through all the process of OSCE. So don't worry, if you have any queries, you please text me. And yes, I need to just tell you that we are having this sorry. So can you see the screen? Yes, we are having this courses of OSCE also. Yes, we have started this 1-to-1 session for practicals, where we are going to today we have taken a batch of 1-to-1. Only you will be there, and you will be presenting the cases. And for OSCE and both like OSCE and live sessions will be there. Okay, and you will be given the notes, where you will be having a good number of where you will be having a good number of dialogues, how to talk with the patient and how to talk with the colleague also. And yes, that's all about today's class. So if you are interested, you can just join the app and just see what are the free content in 1-to-1 practicals. And then if you are interested, you can have a 1-to-1 mock with me. The 1-to-1 mock will contain one long case of OBS, 2 short cases containing 1 gynec and 1 OBS that with a normal viva, and then about 2 stations of OSCE, where there will be different stations, simulated patient task or structured discussion. So based on that, we will be proceeding further. Okay, thank you for joining the class and happy learning.